Story 1. One harsh truth about life that many people find difficult to admit is that fairness is not guaranteed. Life often does not distribute rewards or outcomes based on merit or effort. Sometimes, hard work and good intentions do not yield the results we hope for, and some individuals may receive benefits or success despite their actions. Story 2. Actions have consequences. Many of the negative events in our lives are a direct result of poor choices we have made. Story 3. No one truly cares about you except for family, but sometimes they can be the worst ones. Prepare yourself. Story 4. Failure is inevitable, and those who fear and avoid it completely will have a difficult time finding true happiness. Men who are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. Prosecutor Godot. Story 5. Harsh truth. It's on you. If you want something, it's on you to get it. If you make a mistake, it's on you to own it. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's on you to make changes. Out of shape? Don't blame your schedule. It's on you to get healthy, and the list goes on. Story 6. Nobody cares about men's mental health, and some people do not acknowledge that their actions have consequences. Story 7. You cannot please everyone. No matter how hard you try, at some point you will upset or hurt someone, and there is not always something you can do about it. Story 8. You cannot have it all. You have to sacrifice something for something else. Yes, there are exceptions like with everything, but for the vast majority of us, life will not work that way. Story 9. No one truly cares about you. They forget about you until they want something. You will have to endure this eternity of misery alone because there will never be a hand reaching out to you. You are expected to remain silent and persist until your inevitable end. Then you will be cast aside and forgotten once more. Story 10. Death is likely to be a difficult experience for most people. Everyone desires to die peacefully in their sleep, but the percentage of those who actually experience this is low. It is often a painful and slow process. Dying of old age can involve both of these aspects, so good luck waiting in a hospital bed for the end to come. Story 11. Your odds of your first marriage failing are 67%, and it gets worse with each additional marriage. Most of your friends are barely acquaintances. Your family is really the only ones you can count on if they are still in your life. Nobody cares about you. Stop worrying about what others think. Never make a decision based on what your significant other wants. If something goes wrong, you might feel pushed into the decision and end up blaming them or hating yourself for not trusting your instincts. Decide alone based on the merits of your choices. If it fails, you can learn from your mistakes. Avoid forming friendships with colleagues and refrain from connecting on social media. They may betray you to save themselves or advance their careers. Work is a competitive environment. People can be disappointing. Be the exception. Following rules won't get you far. Learn to navigate and challenge them without getting caught to gain an advantage. Rules often keep people down. How is that for difficult truths? Story 12. Life is entirely without objective meaning or purpose. There are no gods. Nobody survives their own death. The consciousness you are certain of, which makes up the person you think you are, is a complex sensory process experiencing itself. Everything you hold dear and consider important in your life serves only as a diversion, distracting you from the conscious awareness of your inevitable march to oblivion. Story 13. Nothing is free. If you receive something you did not work for, someone else worked for it without receiving it. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. If you wish to know who controls you, ask yourself who you are afraid to criticize. Story 14. Life is short. Don't waste it on people who don't respect it. Childhood friends, best friends, friends you have known forever. If they drain your positivity in life, they are not worth your energy. Sometimes a 2-minute friend is better than a 20-year friend. Make yourself happy, and your group will follow. Story 15. Shaving your pubic hair can be challenging. I don't know if it's just me, but right now, it feels like a shaved bear with some hair left. Still prickly and uncomfortable. Story 16. Toilet paper doesn't make sense. If you got waste on any other part of your body, You wouldn't be satisfied to wipe it off with dry tissue. Story 17. Eventually, everyone will leave you or the other way around. It is going to be painful. Nobody is permanent in your life. No matter how tightly you hold them, they will leave you. Story 18. Many people will never find that person they truly connect with. Those who do often settle down and marry due to societal expectations or a desire to have children. In your 30s, everyone, both men and women, becomes acutely aware of the ticking clock, and by age 35, if they are still single, they tend to panic. By ages 38 to 39, many feel resigned. Story 19. You are born just to die one day. Life is not long enough to do and experience everything you want. If you are not born wealthy, you will spend the majority of your life making money that you may not enjoy, as you could die at any moment. I understand that being healthy is about the quality of life and not its longevity, but you could still die at any second, even if you are the healthiest person. So enjoy that pizza. Story 20. You are responsible for your life. No one else is. If you have problems, do not blame others. Instead, find a solution and get to work. Story 21. We are all so insignificant, like ants on an apple. We are destroying the only place where we can survive for worthless money. I like to believe in a God, but I have no evidence that one exists. There is no Santa. Bill Cosby is a predator and remains free. Roulette has better odds than marriage. A third of our homeless population consists of veterans. Legal suicide is becoming an option instead of running out of money. Charity, church, and law enforcement are businesses like everything else. Story 22. No one actually cares. It is very rare to find someone who truly and genuinely does. Story 23. You can do everything right and still lose. Mr. Rogers was not the kindest person to ever live and still died of agonizing stomach cancer for his efforts. Professional athletes spend 40 years eating clean and staying in shape without enjoying life, yet they may still die at 43 from cancer. You might get overlooked for promotions even when you deserve them. The partner you desire may not love you back. Those who desperately want children might never have them, while those who should not have kids may have 4. The scariest thing about the universe is not that it is good or evil. It is indifferent. Life is strange. Do whatever you want. Story 24. Life is hard, especially when you make poor decisions. Some choices made in our naive youth have heavy consequences that you will carry for the rest of your life. While partying is enjoyable and being carefree is appealing, the consequence is that we waste many of our most energetic years engaging in such activities. If we could learn to live life in the opposite order, we would be much better off. We should work hard and save money while we are young and vibrant, and then party and be carefree when we retire, hopefully at a younger age than we would otherwise. Story 25. Life is challenging and then we die. I say this half seriously. It will never be fair. That is just a fact. Most of us will never be wealthy or accomplish many of the things we dream of. However, we can work towards improvement and strive to make life better. Focus on the small things and make them count. Story 26. Environmental collapse is inevitable because people are unwilling to sacrifice minor conveniences and enforce regulations on the elite. Story 27. There are many single girls in the range of 1 to 5 who are open to love and would appreciate anyone showing them interest. You are only single because you choose to be. Story 28. Holy cow, who has hurt some of you? So many saying no one cares about you. Even as a quiet person who hardly has friends, I have people who care about me. Good grief, who is hurting you all? Story 29. Life is not fair. It is about whom you are related to, how good-looking you are, and how much charisma you possess. Story 30. The objective worthlessness of any goals, dreams, pursuits, desires, hopes, aspirations, achievements, and regrets we have is significant. We experience these things subjectively and assign subjective value to all of it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It means I decide what is important to me, just as you decide what is important to you. We have the freedom to ascribe meaning to things, and that freedom allows us to determine which aspects of our lives are more impactful than others and in what way. This realization can be daunting because it means accepting responsibility, the responsibility for our actions, the responsibility for maintaining our mindset, and the responsibility for achieving happiness, if that is what we desire and in whatever manner that may look like. There are no rules or higher authority that simply grants this to us. People often dislike feeling so alone in this responsibility, even though I believe it allows us to become as unique as we can be. However, there is a cost to every perspective. This one isn't so bad for me. Story 31. That life is temporary. Everyone seems to forget that we are going to die and that most of the things we do don't matter. Look at the animals. They hunt, search for food, and procreate throughout their lives. They don't have a stable existence. Yet somehow, we humans have deceived ourselves into believing we can achieve a comfortable and stable life, while nature does not intend for us to lead such a life. If you are young, you are meant to hunt and procreate. If you are middle-aged, you are expected to share your knowledge and care for the younger ones. If you are old, nature has little use for us and we die. Such is life, yet we spend most of our time worrying about money, houses, cars, appearances, marriage, and other trivial matters. Story 32. Life can feel pointless. You are born, you give birth, and then you die. If you have a truly wonderful life, someone may write about you in a history book. Otherwise, we will all be forgotten within a generation after we are gone. While this may seem sad to some, I find it freeing. Enjoy your time here and don't get caught up in trivial matters, because none of it ultimately matters. Story 33. The people you love will hurt you, and you will hurt them eventually. Forgiving yourself for them is one of the hardest decisions you will make. Story 34. It is 50% luck, 25% preparing yourself to take advantage of opportunities that may arise, and 25% taking advantage of those opportunities. Story 35. Our entire lives will eventually be forgotten, and it will be as if we were never here. It may take 20 years or 20 centuries, but we will be forgotten forever. Story 36. We are at the mercy of our parents' choices, just like every animal. However, humans are affected even more, because a spider cannot move its babies from New York to Nevada to escape crime. My mother chose a charming criminal as my father. He was a loud person who did not take responsibility. We moved out of a violent neighborhood, but the violence remained within the family. I was at their mercy until I moved away. Story 37. That a mother's love is the purest and most honest thing to exist is pure nonsense. Family will always be there for you. I am a living testament to that. Family can be disappointing, or maybe I just got incredibly unlucky. Story 38. You exist on a genetic spectrum of potential and can choose to operate at either the high end or the low end. What this looks like for different people varies widely. Story 39. If people want to know you and make an effort with you, then they will. If not, move on. I understand that people are busy and have their own lives, and they are not obligated to you. However, if you are truly important to them, they will reach out. Story 40. The hardest thing for me to explain to the people around me is that success comes from being willing to risk something important. I am much further ahead in life than the majority of my friends and family because I have been willing to risk my comfort, sanity, and livelihood to get to where I am. On the other hand, you need to be willing to find new friends because sometimes the friends you choose may not want you to change and become a better version of yourself. They may become jealous and resent you because you are choosing to be stronger while they choose to remain weak and comfortable. Story 41. If nobody wants to admit them, then there will be no answers. The harsh truth is that nobody, except perhaps children, is unconditionally loved. If that is your expectation, you set yourself up for failure. You are 2 points lower than where you believe you are on the scale. Everyone dies alone, even if you are surrounded by people you know. Story 42. Life is not fair. Being an adult is not fair. The minimum wage will never be livable. Healthcare will never be free. Hate speech is considered free speech. The consequences are social, not legal. Nobody owes you anything that you do not earn. Story 43. The only people who receive unconditional love are women, children, and pets. If you are a man, The love you receive is often conditional and dependent on the money you make, your performance, or something else you can provide. Story 44. Every unskilled immigrant that comes to Canada will reduce the services you have paid for all your life. You will experience longer wait times for healthcare and higher taxes to cover their healthcare costs. Wages may decrease due to a surplus of labor, making your work worth less. Lower birth rates will result because the amenities and essentials you enjoyed until now are becoming more expensive, making it difficult to afford having children. Additionally, your spouse may need to work instead of raising a family. This could lead to the end of your genetic line, and you may feel a sense of failure in leaving a legacy. Higher crime rates may occur as increased poverty often correlates with increased crime, so be prepared to be a potential victim. Mass immigration primarily benefits the elite for these reasons. It detracts from the well-being of 99% of the population, yet you may be led to believe otherwise due to consuming propaganda and feeling the need to signal virtue to enhance your social standing. Story 45. Being a karma seeker like you and reposting countless items is the easiest way to admit you are a loser. Story 46. We all deserve love and grace, regardless of the atrocities we have committed to ourselves or others. Story 47. Options in life usually do not involve choosing the best option. Often, there are only several poor choices available or, on a good day, multiple favorable ones. Story 48. It's okay if someone does something disrespectful to you. I do not understand why most people don't want to admit that you can get up and walk away. Story 49. The economy performs better when we are paid lower wages, allowing the wealthy and businesses to make even more profit. Story 50. Life gets shorter the older you get. Each year goes by faster than the last after your teenage years. Savor them. Story 51. All of the dangerous and semi-dangerous jobs that I have seen people on the internet die in horrific ways, such as getting mangled or chopped in half, or having their arms ripped off, highlight the urgent need to work towards fully automated solar factories and an automated general workforce. We must break free from oil, and until we achieve that, the fossil fuel industry will continue to control us, resulting in countless needless deaths. Story 52. By the time you start to understand what life is about, you are older and your body does not function as well. Story 53. Being concerned about continuing one's genetic lineage does not matter in the grand scheme of things. It is simply bias, ego, and sentimentality for the living. I am not talking about wanting children, including adopted ones, to share time and experiences with while one is alive. I am referring solely to the worry that one's family line will die out if one does not procreate. Story 54. You see beauty as if it were the key to success. It is not and is highly overrated. I am very attractive and have a nice body, but what I mostly receive is blatant jealousy from women and harassment from men. My achievements are attributed to my appearance rather than my actual skills at my job. So I'm not sure what you were talking about. Story 55. Nobody is born with a purpose. There is no point in our existence unless we take the initiative to find a purpose and pursue it. Story 56. One harsh truth for Reddit users is that not all of life's problems stem from being short and unattractive. Story 57. Love and marriage are, for the most part, filled with challenges and hardships, but loyalty, finances, and lifestyle keep you connected. Story 58. You will never be able to know what to eat every night of the week without daily discussions about it. Story 59. Sorry, but you did ask. It's no fun to fully appreciate the truth of the materialist proposition that I don't have a body. I am a body. Christopher Hitchens, in his last memoir, Mortality, he passed away on December 15, 2011, from esophageal cancer. Story 60. No one really cares about you. No one cares what you look like, how you dress, or what job you do outside of your small bubble. Even then, they probably do not give it a second thought. They are too busy thinking about themselves just as you do. Story 61. Cheating is a legitimate and time-proven way to get ahead. The Navy SEALs have a saying, if you find yourself in a fair fight, your tactics are lacking. Story 62. It will not get better as you get older. In fact, it will get worse. You will learn to cope with it better through all the pain and experience you have received over the years, but it will not get better. Story 63. BDSM and kink in porn and hentai are not representative of real BDSM and kink. Like vanilla porn and hentai, they are created purely for entertainment. What these portrayals do not show is the consent that is established before a scene. They do not demonstrate discussions about safe words or the use of safe words. They also fail to include a crucial aspect of BDSM and kink: aftercare. If you are getting your BDSM and kink knowledge from porn or hentai, it is important to stop. Story 64. There are some great quotes here. I am commenting to read through later. Get busy living or get busy dying. Story 65. People will dislike you for the silliest of reasons. Even worse is those who feel the need to act on hatred and claim it is justice, even when it is clearly not. Story 66. Just because there are over 7 billion people on the planet does not mean you can easily find a soulmate. What if the person who best matches you is on the other side of the world? Highly populated locations tend to increase your chances of finding someone, but what if you live in a rural area? Realistically, you might have only a few thousand members of the desired gender, most of whom are already in relationships. Additionally, it is uncertain whether the available singles match your preferences, share your orientation, or are even interested in you or a relationship at all. Story 67. The standards you hold for yourself do not make you better or worse than anyone. They are your preferences and reflections of your values. They begin and end in your own mind. Story 68. Being kind doesn't protect you. If someone wants to hurt you, they will. Don't be a puddle. Become a glacier. Story 69. You cannot expect friends to always be there for you when you need them. The reality is that you are not the main character, and the people around you have their own lives and problems. Story 70. If you are triggered by something someone says about you, it is likely because there is a hint of truth in it that you are not ready to hear. Story 71. You are on your own. The sooner you accept that no one owes you anything and stop expecting others to help, the better. Just get things done independently. You can ask for assistance. Some people will volunteer, but there is no obligation to help. Story 72. You are what you surround yourself with. Everything in your life is your responsibility. No one is coming to save you, and few will celebrate your success. Story 73. We made significant changes after the hippie movement of the 1960s, addressing the hypocrisy that had shifted the rules in academia, especially in psychology. Gentle parenting emerged but did not gain momentum until the mid-1980s. The rest is history. Story 74. There are a small number of people you can genuinely trust. Almost everyone you come into contact with or are related to will prioritize their own interests and desire for money over you, including siblings. In my experience, very few people do the right thing when nobody is watching. Story 75. We all use each other for mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual gratification. Absolute selflessness doesn't exist. We do something to gain something for God, people, or an emotion. Story 76. Sometimes you feel like a complete failure. No job, no contribution to society, no partner, no money, no passion. Feeling unattractive, socially withdrawn, and lacking confidence. It may seem like only your mother and pet love you, and that feels unacceptable. But you feel powerless to change your situation because it seems too late. You worry that your family legacy may end with you. You might think you are a disappointment to your aging parents, and that you will die alone in the home they lived in, having not accomplished anything of value in your life. Have a nice day. Story 77. Life is difficult. You are born, and your best years are your childhood, for better or worse. When you become an adult, you struggle to survive in an ever-evolving world filled with challenges. Those in power make decisions that, for better or worse, change your life and livelihood. You often think being an adult grants you freedom, but in truth, it can feel like a larger cage. And the reality is that unless you are one of the fortunate few, you may come to dislike your job, your boss, and your pay, leaving you unfulfilled and questioning the purpose of it all. What do we truly accomplish in our lives? For the vast majority, nothing. Most of us will pass away without any significant legacy, and some will be forgotten within a week. Even those who sacrificed everything are often only remembered by a few. Their names fade from memory. When you grasp the inevitability of an unfulfilled life and the need to escape from harsh realities, it is understandable why some individuals turn to alcohol or other substances. This often leads to an increase in the suicide rate. The harsh truth about life is that you are not guaranteed the opportunity to live one. Speaking from personal experience, it diminishes you as a person when you feel unable to live a meaningful life. The longer you are unable to do so, the more it takes away from you. Story 78. 99% of everything people think or believe is fabricated by others over the last 10,000 years. Even though the process of separating objective reality from subjective narratives is straightforward and clearly defined by the concept of logic, 99% of people do not actually use it or often care about objectivity as much as they care about what is most interesting to them in an aesthetic way or what most easily accommodates their ego. In summary, older people are just children who have been around a long time. Story 79. You are either going to be the one to survive it all, see your friends and family pass, or they will be the ones who have to do it for you. True love that is healthy and mutual is much rarer than one would think. Story 80. Timing and luck play as much, if not more, of a role in success than talent, hard work, and experience. For some successful individuals, it is almost entirely due to good timing and pure luck. Story 81. At some point, you need to stop being a submissive doormat and start pushing back against the odds to improve your life and discover what you want to do. Story 82. If you are a man, no one is coming to save you. You are on your own. No one, except possibly your parents, cares about your struggles. Story 83. Engaging in unethical and self-serving behavior may lead to financial gain, but respect from others, including women, is earned through integrity and moral actions. Story 84. Life isn't fair. You don't deserve anything. Fairness and deserving are merely opinions held by humans. The world doesn't know you exist, and it doesn't care. It holds no intention or opinion about you. This is your one shot, and when it's over, it's as if it never happened. Nobody is coming to save you. Story 85. After we die, everything continues on without us. Within a generation or two, we are forgotten in the mists of time. I know this is not very profound. Story 86. You are not the driver of your life. Life moves with its own flow. Sometimes it feels like you are in control, while other times it feels uncontrollable. Story 87. Nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself physically and mentally. No one cares. Work harder. Story 88. Love was created to comfort people living together, similar to how Santa Claus entertains children. Ultimately, we are all on our own and make trades to survive. There is no such thing as love. By practicing fasting, expressing gratitude, learning to socialize in a healthy way, and giving to your community, life can become bearable and still somewhat entertaining and rewarding. Story 89. It is your fault. Not always, but often when you feel like the world is against you. Remember that it was your choice to sleep in until noon, order fast food for breakfast, and watch online videos all day. Story 90. The ones you care for will leave. They won't admit it, but they will not be afraid to abandon you, even when you need them the most. You are born naked and you will die naked. Just like that, you were born to be alone, even if you don't want to be. Story 91. Everything is random and we create unusual rules and rely on statistics to predict events that may harm us, when in reality we do not have control over these matters, especially people. Story 92. You as a person are not inherently valuable or valid to others. Your worth is derived from how useful you are to them. If that ceases, people stop caring. Story 93. You can work hard and strive for success. Yet sometimes others may do less and still receive a promotion. Can often come down to luck. Story 94. Being a dedicated husband and father can feel thankless and may lead to an early grave, burdened with debt, misery, and loneliness. I have 3 friends who are co-workers, all much older, ranging from their mid-50s to mid-60s. Each has experienced their wives cheating on them, leaving them and taking a significant portion of their retirement savings or the house, leaving them in a position where they can never truly retire. Two of my friends died before reaching 50 years of age. They worked every day during their adulthood. One passed away alone after his wife left him, while the other died with his wife by his side, and neither of his children made it home before he passed away. Story 95. Excessive migration from developing countries decreases wages while increasing living costs, all in the name of celebrating diversity. Story 96. The hard truth about life is that decision-making is key to living. Whether you have the ability to make good, rational decisions that will affect the course of your life is important. If you do have that ability, will you still make poor choices, disregarding your sense of right and wrong or what is better or worse? Should I study in high school so I can go to college? Should I go to college or pursue trade skills? Should I hang out with the cool crowd just to appear trendy, even though I know this isn't a wise choice? Should I associate with those who steal all-terrain vehicles and ride them in large groups on the streets, fully aware that this is not a good choice? Should I attend the street takeover that all my friends are going to, knowing it may lead to trouble that could affect the rest of my life? Unfortunately, many of us are not born with strong decision-making abilities, and as a result, life can be unkind to these individuals. However, they remain a minority. Story 97. The older you get, the more you hurt and ache. I remember random days when I woke up feeling amazing. That happens less frequently now, and I know part of it is age and genetics. Story 98. Parents with competing and incompatible perspectives often argue not because they genuinely seek a common ground solution, but because they want their perspective to prevail. This creates an environment where every inconvenience leads to conflict instead of compromise. Story 99. If you were born in a developed country and you are poor past the age of 25, it is likely your own responsibility. Story 100. Women seek gender equality, but often focus only on the aspects that benefit them while avoiding accountability. Therefore, it is questionable whether they truly desire the complete implementation of gender equality. Story 101. I haven't read the thread yet, but I bet there will be someone posting, "You can do everything right and still lose." Story 102. Most men are not sexually attractive enough to compete in the current sex, relationship, and marriage markets in the West. Women often do not find men appealing. It matters less what you know and more who you know. The social hierarchies learned in high school persist throughout your education and into your professional and personal life. Where you were in high school often reflects where you will be for the rest of your life. Story 103. You will eventually need to toughen up. Embracing your feelings and emotions only works for a limited time before you become overwhelmed by prescription medications, anxieties, and intrusive thoughts. Story 104. Feminism is not about equality at all. Women and men are not the same, but we should treat each other equally. Story 105. There is no secret group manipulating the world, and no one is out to destroy the working class. No one is coming to save us from each other. We are just humans dealing with the delusions of a few megalomaniacs who are consuming valuable resources for the slim chance of a better future. Ultimately, we are all alone on this dying planet in a galaxy filled with lifeless worlds. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.